So how do we know that Omar is an innocent man?
So we know that he was in Turkey at the time of this crime, and we know that through various ways. And one of the really critical ways that we know that is that after over 2 years of trying, we were able to get Omar's cell phone records from the Turkish government. And these are amazing cell phone records that have so much detail in them, including phone calls, who the calls were with, and the exact cell phone tower that these calls were hitting. And they're all where they're supposed to be. They are in Mersin, Turkey, right near Omar's apartment for the most part. They are on his ride to and from work. They are in the downtown area of Mersin, near where his friend lived, where the immigration police office was. Um, it was truly amazing because we had known for a long time, based on everything else, that Omar was actually in Turkey. Everyone who was there with him was telling us he was in Turkey. People in Iraq were saying, of course he wasn't here. He hadn't been here for years. And then to actually see the cell phone records was really incredible because of the pattern that it established of him being there and being there within an hour of the murder in Iraq. I mean, I think, in any murder case, that would be the most amazing evidence. We just had an acquittal here in the United States where someone was 8 miles away. Omar was 600 miles away, across two war-torn countries from where the murder happened. We also investigated as much as we could the murder and the witnesses behind it, and learned really troubling information about those supposed witnesses. The eyewitness who claims to have seen Omar commit this, also in the same proceeding, said that Omar had committed a kidnapping of 3 men in 2016. And we know Omar was in the United States then. So there's a pattern of these accusations, these really extreme accusations, and then absolutely 100% proof that they are false. And yet here we are, Omar's in custody, fighting for his freedom and his life.
And what is likely to happen to Omar if he is extradited to Iraq?
I'm very concerned about it. The main instigator of the false accusations against him is a leader of a tribal militia in Iraq. He has said that he wants Omar to be given directly to him so he can have him executed. If that doesn't happen and he actually makes it into the Iraqi criminal justice system, he's likely to face what other people accused of being involved with ISIS have faced, which is, a trial of maybe 5 to 10 minutes, no due process, no ability to raise a case, no ability to introduce evidence, and then a quick death penalty followed by an execution. We know that that's happened. It's been documented by so many human rights observers, and there's a lot of torture in the system there. So, the fear is that he would be returned and he would be tortured until he falsely confesses, and then that confession would be used to convict him and send him to an execution.
And what is Omar's current emotional and physical state?
He's holding up okay. He suffered from COVID and recovered. He was sick, but he recovered. I think it's amazing what he can do to keep his spirits up. He is unbelievably patient and has responded with an incredible amount of grace to his circumstances. He is unfailingly polite and courteous and thankful for all the help that his team is giving him. And then I think the fear comes out at night. He has nightmares. I think underneath it all, he's terrified. And so at night, when he tries to sleep, that's when the nightmares come out. So that gives you a little indication of where Omar is at psychologically. He is bearing up incredibly well, and yet underneath it all, it's terrifying. It's been 2.5 years since he kissed his children. It's been, 2.5 years since he touched their faces. His baby daughter has grown up into a very rambunctious toddler, and he's missed it all. And he faces this constant threat of being returned to Iraq and facing the worst that could happen to him.
What would you like to say to the Biden administration on Omar's behalf?
I would love it if the Biden administration could take a hard look at this case. At the very least, there should be an investigation into how this came to be. How was our country manipulated in this way, and where where is the um, where is the evidence of interactions between the U.S. government and the Iraqi government, showing that uh, that there was this desire to extradite Omar Ameen to Iraq in order to set up and use the Iraqi extradition treaty. We know that there was a lot of interaction between the American government, and this was under the Trump administration. And it was right at the time that the former administration had a very vested interest in pushing a story that refugees were dangerous and that Muslim refugees were dangerous. And in fact, our country, our Secretary of State at the time, cited it as a reason to restrict refugees coming to America. This case has fallen apart. I'm not even sure there was much of a case to begin with. And since we've clearly shown Omar's innocent, there needs to be accountability and there needs to be an investigation of the various administration and the various agencies and how this case came to be in the first place. And then it's my hope that Omar will be released and be free to live back in his apartment with his family and continue to be a good member of our society. Accountability is important, and it's important for the government to know that people are watching. They can petition their Congress people if they're in the United States, ask them to investigate this, ask them how this came to be. We know that people watching is the best way to get accountability for government actions. And we've been really happy to see the kind of support that people around the world have given to Omar's case.